As teased in the previous video, I have gotten 2 Blu-ray videos coming to you this week on this channel. Starting us up is the another Criterion Collection Blu-ray update, specifically the May sale and the one in the center, how on earth did I got this? So, yep, as you can see, this wasn't really a big sale for me this time, so I've gotten 2 more 50s films, and that kind of technically finishes my Oscar movies of the 1950s, technically, I would say. Now I just have to go through most of the other 50s movies that could have been potential candidates, including the original Godzilla. Now, so, with that being said, let's talk about the one that is kind of the standout in this, and that is actually regarding Spy Number 476 from 2008 by David Fincher, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Now, you might be asking yourself, Brian, how on earth did I get this when this was already out of print? Well, if you might have seen in the last regular Blu-ray update video, I kind of had teased this a little bit, that I actually had gotten this. Well, that is actually because it was at one of my local stores that sells used physical media Blu-rays and used games, called the Light Games, which is kind of like in like the Golden Strip Plaza, where our local Hobby Lobby is, which was our original Kmart. And so obviously I hadn't been there in quite a while, and if you check out the last regular Blu-ray update, a couple of the movies I have already gotten in that. I don't know why my Alice in Wonderland Blu-ray is facing down, but we'll get to those in the next video. So, there were a couple that I managed to get, like Ensemble, Amour, The Princess and the Frog, and stuff like that. But this one, I was not just shocked, but also excited at the same time. So, I did not expect The Curious Case of Benjamin Button to actually show up in my local used Blu-ray store specifically. And yes, this is obviously the most standout out of all the Criterion Blu-rays that were sold, because this is the only one, as of 2024, the only one that went on a stand, like out of all the cases, this is the only physical case from Criterion that is a normal Blu-ray case instead of something else. Now, obviously, a lot of people know David Fincher's movies have a weird way when they release some of their films on Blu-ray, like The Social Network, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and even Gone Girl, which, okay, it's actually down in one of the corners. Yeah, it has a very weird physical copy, but this is kind of another obscure one because it's the only Criterion one that has a regular Blu-ray case. So I was surprised I got everything, both discs, the booklet as well. Now I did watch this a couple of years ago, back in 2020, when it was still labeled currently unavailable, and I was like, okay, they might be either reissuing it or maybe remaking it to make it a better case, like the ones that you see here and some of them up there. But nope, they labeled it out of print, and when I just came across by this in the store, I was just amazed. Now, oddly to say this is actually my favorite David Fincher film so far. Now, I know I have not seen some of his films, like I believe, was it Crimson Tide or Seven he directed? I forget which one. I think it was Seven. Obviously, Fight Club, so I didn't see his latest film, The Killer, unless that gets released on Criterion because it's through Netflix. Mank has not been released through this platform yet because of Netflix, so but this is definitely so far my favorite out of the picture nominees of 2008. The only one I've seen at the moment was The Reader. I've yet to see Frost Nixon, Milk, the winner of Slumdog Millionaire, but Cate Blanchett's performance is fine, Brad Pitt also fine, but the transformations they did on this character and just an interesting concept of somebody aging backwards is just unique. Taraji P. Henson, phenomenal. And this is one of the few roles Mahershala Ali was in before he became bigger in the movie industry about a decade later with films like Moonlight and Green Book. So, definitely my favorite Fincher film so far. I'm just so happy I found this at my used Blu-ray store. I didn't get this on the side, not through the sale or anything like that. But yep, I found it at my used a used store that sells used Blu-rays and games, and I'm so happy I got this. But now, let's talk about the actual two that I got off on the sale. Spy number 457, excuse me, from 1954, by Douglas Sirk, Magnificent Obsession, and Spy number 58, which got a reissued on Blu-ray and 4K from Michael Powell from 1960, Peeping Tom, a interesting horror film. I do apologize for the background noise you hear, but it is a beautiful day outside, and as I said, summer is beginning. I also sorry for the sunlight blocking some of the views here, but yeah, these are the only two ones I've seen. A potential one, I think, because of the director behind it, and this one did receive a Best Actress nomination. I did watch this one on Amazon Prime, and the only last one I got in this, and from the Oscar movies of the 50s, Rock Hudson is also in this one, and I already have seconds in my collection already, so an interesting role where he plays somebody that has to deal with, if I'm correct, so it's about this, like, a recent doctor had just passed away, and the accident he had, unfortunately, caused the conflict of her late husband, and then all of a sudden another accident occurred, and she becomes fully blind, and he has to make sure her life is happy instead of his. And it is definitely unique, I would say. I forget who the star is. I don't really... Well, this is a breakthrough role for him. Okay, I did not know this was a breakthrough role for Rock Hudson specifically. So, I really would look at the essay, but I am holding my phone at the same time. So, the last Oscars 50s movies I've gotten so far, unless something new is announced, that I've gotten. And then for Peeping Tom, when this was announced, oh boy, I saw this on Tubi, and man, that is just very intense of how created this. I think this was a British horror movie, unless if I'm mistaken if it's not British or not, but that was just scary. At this man, just the way how he kills people through taking pictures is just something that's like a obsession he has or something like that. And definitely a very, very creative horror movie that was in the 1960s, and that's kind of basically it. There might be a time I might actually take a break from the Criterion collection a bit right now. Not because of, obviously, budget reasons, but I want to try to focus more on other regular Blu-rays. I want to get more Shout Factory ones as soon as possible, but budget is the big thing. So, all it is just, here are the two new ones, but the primary one is how I managed to get this Blu-ray, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, out of print by all means. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and the next video will be on a regular Blu-ray update.